Okay, so let's do Chi-Raq, which is the new film by Spike Lee. It's been around for a little while now. Chi-Raq, pronounced as in Iraq, a combination of Chicago and Iraq. The name, which conjures the idea that, in fact, in Chicago, you're just as likely to be involved in, warfare as you would be in Iraq. The irony being that the government will be spending more money reconstructing Iraq than they would in Chicago. So the film, which is Spike Lee, written by Kevin Wilmot, is inspired by Aristophanes. It's a story from Aristophanes. And it's a bawdy political satire in which feisty women withhold sex from the men folk who are involved in war and killing. And the idea is that by doing this, they will be able to stop them from carrying on their warlike activities and change and become more peaceful. Here's a clip.
Man, you really think something like that could bring peace?
Y'all know the power we have over them withholding just a day. A week.
Ooh.
Imagine a month. A year. Oh, they gonna bring the peace.
Suppose that the men just dump us.
If we all hold out, who can they go to?
The thoughts. Them hoes over there.
Well, we will enlist them too.
If we want our men alive, we want our babies to thrive, we're gonna have to organize.
So the film is an odd mix. On the one hand, it is righteously angry and is dealing with sort of very real issues of gang violence and people caught up in gang violence. On the other hand, what it's trying to do is to be a sort of, as I said, bawdy political satire, which takes very ostentatiously and very audaciously, this story from Aristophanes and filters it through more recent events and puts it almost like a theatrical production on the screen in which the characters are talking in a version of verse. So it is very much deliberately stagey. And it's got some very, very strong performances in it from Jennifer Hudson, from Angela Bassett, from Teyonah Parris, who really sort of provide the backbone of the story and give it oomph. There's also a kind of choric role and narrator role for Samuel L. Jackson, which is, well done and witty and funny. However, the problem with the film is that it is very, very tonally uneven. And although it's an ambitious idea, it never quite manages to find the right balance for me between what it wants to be bawdy. I mean, for one thing, for a bawdy comedy, although albeit an angry and politicized and and very sort of relevant bawdy comedy, it's not particularly funny. There is one sequence in it, in fact, which is lifted directly from a Woody Allen film from the early 1970s of a very sort of orchestrated bawdy sex fast joke done as a kind of boxing match, which really felt like it had come from a different era, but not in a different era as in, from Aristophanes, but from a different era as in it just didn't feel like it had a place in the film. There are also a couple of sequences when they take over the National Guard, the armory, in which the comedy and the drama don't quite meld. That said, there are things in it that feel vibrant, that feel urgent, that feel like it's a film that is trying to do something that you haven't seen another film doing in recent, if indeed living memory. So I admire its ambition, I admire its performances, and there are moments in it which I thought were, invigorating and strong and empowering. I think that it is tonally difficult. I think that the comedy in it doesn't quite work, and there are some sequences in it which just feel awkward, but not in the way that they're meant to. So a very, very uneven, but ambitious, but very flawed attempt to do something which is very interesting, if not successful.